Welcome to the Cenario Podcast, your guide to mental health and well-being. Each episode, we uncover practical tools, discuss expert insights, and explore how supplements can transform your mental health journey. Get ready to learn, grow, and thrive with us.
We all know that feeling, right? Tossing and turning all night. Ugh, it's the worst. But what if there was a way to tap into our body's natural sleep cycle and just make those restless nights disappear? Well, tonight we are going on a deep dive into melatonin. You know, that naturally occurring hormone that is super key for regulating our sleep. So we're going to explore, the science behind it, when it can be most effective, and of course, how to use it safely. We'll even tackle some of those burning questions that you might have about this popular sleep aid. Our guide through this is back with us again, ready to shed some light on the mysteries of melatonin.
Absolutely. It's so fascinating how our bodies have this built-in system for, regulating sleep. And melatonin is right at the heart of it.
Okay, so let's unpack this a bit. So melatonin, it's a hormone, right?
Yeah.
But where does it come from? What does it actually do?
You got it. Melatonin is made by the pineal gland, this tiny little structure deep within our brains. Think of it as our body's internal clock, keeping our sleep-wake cycle in sync. As darkness falls, our pineal gland kicks into gear, releasing melatonin into our bloodstream. This signals to our body that it's time to wind down and get ready for sleep.
So it's like our body's natural lullaby.
Exactly. It sets the stage for sleep, and as the sun rises and light comes in, melatonin production goes down, signaling to our body that it's time to wake up and, seize the day.
Okay, that makes total sense. But what about those times when our sleep schedule gets thrown off? Like when we travel, across time zones or work those night shifts. Can melatonin help us get back on track?
That's where melatonin supplements come in. Taking a melatonin supplement is essentially like giving your body an extra dose of its own sleep hormone. Think of it as like a gentle nudge to help reset your internal clock when it's out of whack.
So it's not just about falling asleep faster. It's more about realigning our body's natural sleep rhythm.
Precisely. And there is tons of research to support this. Studies have shown that melatonin can be incredibly effective in addressing sleep issues, from, the temporary disruption of jet lag to the more chronic challenges of shift work sleep disorder.
Okay, that's really interesting. I know so many people who struggle with jet lag. What does melatonin do to help with that?
Well, imagine you just flew across a bunch of time zones. Your body is still working on your home time, right? But where you are is telling you it's a totally different time to sleep. That's where melatonin can be a big help. By taking a small dose of melatonin, usually between base 0.5 and 5 milligrams, a little bit before your bedtime in the new time zone, you're basically telling your body that it's time to wind down, even if it feels like the middle of the afternoon back home.
That's really helpful, especially for people who travel a lot for work or just for fun. It's like a reset button for your sleep cycle.
Exactly. It can make a huge difference in adjusting to those new time zones and minimizing that dreaded jet lag.
And you mentioned shift work sleep disorder before. What makes melatonin a good option for people who work nights or just have irregular schedules?
Shift work sleep disorder can be really rough. You are constantly going against your body's natural sleep-wake cycle. Melatonin can be a game changer here by promoting sleep during the daytime. When these folks need to rest.
So it's about shifting your sleep window to match up with your work schedule.
Exactly. And studies have shown that melatonin can actually make both sleep quality and how long you sleep better for shift workers. Imagine feeling more rested and more alert during your shift, even if it's in the middle of the night. That's the potential benefit of melatonin for shift work sleep disorder.
That's really remarkable. It sounds like melatonin is a super valuable tool for managing all sorts of sleep challenges. Yeah. What about insomnia? Is there any evidence that melatonin can help with that too?
There is. While insomnia can be complex with all sorts of causes, melatonin has shown a lot of promise in helping to improve sleep quality for those who struggle with it, especially for older adults whose natural melatonin production tends to decline with age.
So it can be a natural way to address those age-related changes in our sleep patterns.
It certainly can, and research suggests it can be beneficial for both the occasional bout of insomnia and more chronic sleeplessness. It can help you fall asleep faster, stay asleep longer, and wake up feeling more refreshed.
Now that's what we like to hear. So we talked about jet lag, shift work, sleep disorder, and insomnia. Are there any other situations where melatonin might be helpful?
Another condition where melatonin has shown promise is delayed sleep phase syndrome. This is a disorder where a person's sleep-wake cycle is delayed, meaning they have trouble falling asleep and waking up at normal times.
So their internal clock is running a bit late.
Exactly. Melatonin, especially when paired with light therapy, can help shift the sleep phase earlier, making it easier for individuals with this condition to fall asleep at a more desirable time and wake up feeling refreshed.
It's like giving their internal clock a little nudge in the right direction.
Precisely. Now, it's important to remember that melatonin isn't some cure-all for sleep problems, but it can be a powerful tool when used appropriately and in conjunction with healthy sleep habits.
This all sounds pretty amazing, but let's get down to the nitty-gritty here. What are the specific benefits people can expect to see when they start taking melatonin? What does a good night's sleep with melatonin actually look like?
Well, first and foremost, melatonin can significantly reduce that annoying amount of time it takes to fall asleep. We've all been there just staring at the ceiling, willing ourselves to drift off. Melatonin can help speed up that process, making it much easier to transition into sleep.
So less time tossing and turning and more time actually sleeping. I like the sound of that.
And it's not just about falling asleep faster. It's about the quality of sleep you get, too. Melatonin helps regulate your sleep cycle, promoting deeper and more restorative sleep. You wake up feeling more refreshed and energized, ready to take on the day.
Okay, so it's like hitting the reset button on your sleep.
Yeah.
Making it more efficient and refreshing.
Exactly. And for those who are dealing with constantly changing schedules, melatonin can help reestablish some normalcy, regulating those sleep-wake cycles and making it easier to adapt to different time zones or work patterns.
That's incredibly helpful, especially in our increasingly globalized and fast-paced world. But what sets melatonin apart from, say, sleeping pills? I know a lot of people are wary of those.
That's a great question. Unlike a lot of prescription sleep aids, which can have strong sedative effects, melatonin works in harmony with your body's natural sleep processes. It gently encourages sleep without forcing it, which is generally considered a safer and more natural approach.
That's a big difference. It's not about knocking you out. It's about working with your body's natural rhythms. That's got to be better for your overall sleep health in the long run. So it sounds like melatonin could be a valuable tool for a lot of people. But before everyone runs out to buy a bottle, let's talk about using it safely. What should people know before they start taking melatonin?
The good news is that melatonin is generally considered safe for short-term use. But like with any supplement, there are a few things to keep in mind. Starting with a low dose is key, typically between 0.5 to 3 milligrams. You can always adjust the dosage gradually if needed, but it's best to start low and see how your body responds.
So it's about finding that sweet spot where you get the benefits without overdoing it.
Exactly. Consistency is also key. Try to take melatonin at the same time each evening, ideally about 30 minutes to an hour before bedtime. This helps reinforce a regular sleep schedule and trains your body to recognize when it's time to wind down.
It's like setting the alarm for your sleep, not just for waking up. What about how long it lasts in your system?
Melatonin's effects typically last anywhere from 4 to 8 hours, depending on the dose and your individual metabolism. So it's important to factor that in, especially if you need to drive or operate heavy machinery after taking it.
That's a really good point. Always better to err on the side of caution. And I imagine this is especially important for people who are pregnant, breastfeeding, or taking other medications.
Absolutely. It's always wise to consult with a healthcare provider before starting any new supplement, including melatonin. Especially if you fall into any of those categories, they can help determine the best course of action and ensure there are no potential interactions or risks.
Okay, so we've covered the basics of what melatonin is, how it works, and some situations where it can be beneficial. Now let's dive a bit deeper into the practical side of things. What are some of the potential side effects people should be aware of? And are there any precautions they should take?
Well, melatonin is generally well tolerated, especially when used in appropriate doses. Like any supplement, it can have some potential side effects.
Okay, so what kind of side effects are we talking about?
The most common side effects are usually pretty mild. Things like drowsiness, headaches, dizziness, and sometimes nausea. These tend to occur more frequently with higher doses, which is why starting low and gradually increasing is so important.
So listen to your body and find what works for you without pushing it too far. Makes sense. Anything else people should watch out for?
It's always a good idea to pay attention to any unusual symptoms or allergic reactions. Things like severe headaches or mood changes. Those could potentially be related to melatonin use. If you experience anything out of the ordinary, stop taking it and consult with your healthcare provider.
That's good advice for any new supplement, really. It's about being mindful and listening to your body. But what about long-term use? Is it safe to take melatonin every night for an extended period?
That's where things get a bit tricky. While short-term use of melatonin is generally considered safe, using it every night for an extended period could potentially mask underlying sleep disorders, disorders that require a different approach.
So it's important to see melatonin as a tool, not a permanent solution, especially if you're dealing with persistent sleep problems.
Exactly. It's a valuable tool for occasional use or for specific situations like jet lag or shift work. But for chronic sleep issues, it's important to address the root causes and develop healthy sleep habits for long-term success.
That makes perfect sense. It's about getting to the heart of the matter and not just relying on a Band-Aid solution. Are there any medications or conditions where melatonin might not be appropriate or could potentially interact negatively?
Yes, there are some potential drug interactions and contraindications to be aware of. Melatonin can interact with certain medications, like anticoagulants, antiplatelet drugs, immunosuppressants, diabetes medications, and epilepsy medications, just to name a few. It's crucial to talk to your doctor before starting melatonin if you are taking any of these medications or have other underlying health conditions.
Wow, that's quite a list. So the takeaway here is talk to your doctor first, especially if you're managing any chronic health conditions.
Exactly. They can help assess your individual situation and ensure that melatonin is a safe and appropriate option for you.
Always better to be safe than sorry. Let's shift gears a bit and talk about choosing the right melatonin supplement. I imagine there are tons of options out there. What should people keep in mind when navigating the world of melatonin supplements?
You're absolutely right. There are a lot of choices, but don't worry, we can break it down. One of the first things to consider is the formulation. Do you need something that kicks in quickly and wears off relatively fast? Or do you prefer a more sustained release throughout the night?
So it's about knowing your sleep needs and what you're trying to achieve.
Exactly. Quick release formulations are great for those who struggle to fall asleep initially, while extended release options provide a more gradual release of melatonin throughout the night.
So choose the right tool for the job, so to speak.
Yeah.
What about quality? How can people be sure they're getting a high-quality melatonin supplement?
Quality is super important. Look for products that have been independently tested for purity and potency. Certifications from reputable organizations can provide assurance that the supplement meets certain quality standards.
So do your research and choose brands you trust.
Right, and don't be afraid to read reviews and see what other customers are saying. Some melatonin supplements also include other sleep-enhancing ingredients, like chamomile or valerian root, which can provide an extra boost of relaxation.
So it's about finding what works best for your individual needs and preferences. It's not a one-size-fits-all situation. But even with the best melatonin supplement in the world, I imagine it's still important to focus on those healthy sleep habits, right?
You're absolutely right. Melatonin works best when it's part of a holistic approach to sleep. Think of it as a helpful tool within a larger toolkit.
Okay, so what are some of the other tools in that sleep toolkit? What else can people do to create a truly sleep-supportive environment and lifestyle?
Establishing a consistent bedtime routine is key. It signals to your body that it's time to wind down and prepare for sleep. This could involve taking a warm bath, reading a book, or listening to calming music. Anything that helps you relax and de-stress.
So create a little pre-sleep ritual that helps you unwind.
Exactly. And make sure your bedroom is conducive to sleep. It should be dark, quiet, and cool. Avoid using electronic devices in the hour before bed, as the blue light they emit can interfere with melatonin production.
It's about creating a sleep sanctuary,
Exactly.
both physically and mentally. Are there any other lifestyle factors that can impact sleep?
Absolutely. Regular exercise can be incredibly beneficial for sleep quality, but try to avoid intense workouts close to bedtime. Caffeine and alcohol can also interfere with sleep, so it's best to limit those, especially in the evening.
It's all about making conscious choices throughout the day that support a good night's sleep. This has been incredibly insightful, but I know our listeners are eager to hear about Cenario solutions for better sleep. What can you tell us about how Cenario approaches this whole melatonin thing?
At Cenario, we're passionate about mental health and well-being, and we recognize that quality sleep is absolutely essential for both. We believe that everyone deserves to experience the restorative power of a good night's rest. And that's why we've developed a line of melatonin-based supplements that are carefully formulated using the latest scientific research.
So it's about combining the power of nature with cutting-edge science.
Exactly. We're committed to providing safe, effective, and research-driven solutions that help people achieve their sleep goals and feel their best.
That's fantastic. So what makes Cenario's melatonin supplements stand out from the crowd? What are you focusing on?
We're really focused on a few key things. First and foremost, we prioritize promoting natural sleep cycles. Our formulations are designed to work in harmony with your body's own rhythms, gently guiding you towards restful sleep. We're not about forcing sleep. We're about supporting your body's natural processes.
So it's about working with your body, not against it.
Precisely. And we're meticulous about the ingredients we use. We carefully select each component to enhance effectiveness, quality, and purity. We're not just throwing things together. We're thoughtfully crafting formulations that are backed by science and designed to deliver real results. We even incorporate additional sleep-enhancing ingredients like chamomile and valerian root in some of our products.
It sounds like you're taking a very intentional and holistic approach, which is something we value here at Cenario. But for our listeners who are curious to explore Cenario's melatonin-based products, where can they find more information?
We encourage everyone to visit our website, Cenario.com. You'll find a wealth of information about our melatonin supplements, including detailed descriptions, ingredients, list customer testimonials, and even a blog with helpful articles about sleep health.
So it's a one-stop shop for all things melatonin and sleep support.
Absolutely. We want to empower our customers to make informed decisions about their sleep health. And for those who might feel a bit overwhelmed by the choices, we have a fantastic personalized sleep solutions quiz.
Oh, tell me more about that.
It's a fun and easy way to figure out which Cenario product might be the perfect match for your individual needs and sleep challenges. You can find the quiz right on our homepage. Just click on Take the Quiz, and you'll be guided through a few simple questions. We'll then recommend the best options for you.
That's so helpful. It takes the guesswork out of choosing the right supplement. I love that you're providing such personalized guidance. But before we wrap up, I know there are always a few lingering questions about melatonin that people are curious about. What are some of the most common FAQs you hear from people who are considering trying melatonin?
One of the most common questions is just like, is melatonin good for sleep? And for a lot of people, the answer is yes. Melatonin can be super helpful for those who, have insomnia every now and then or have disruptions in their sleep schedules. It basically mimics the body's natural sleep hormone to, help regulate your sleep-wake cycle.
It's like giving your body a little nudge in the right direction.
Exactly. But it's important to remember that it's usually best for short-term solutions or for those specific situations like jet lag or shift work. If you're dealing with chronic sleep problems, it's always best to talk to your doctor, to rule out any underlying conditions and just explore the best way to treat it.
Makes sense. We'll just mask the problem, address it head on. What are some other common questions you get?
Another one we hear a lot is melatonin a good sleeping pill? And it's important to be clear, melatonin isn't a sleeping pill, really. Unlike prescription sleeping pills, which often make you drowsy, melatonin works more gently by supporting your body's natural processes to help you fall asleep.
So it's not about forcing sleep. It's more about facilitating it.
Precisely. And how well it works really depends on the person and how it's used. Some people find it really helpful, while others might not notice as much of a difference.
It's all about finding what works best for you. Are there any questions related to specific health concerns? Like anything about kidney health, for example?
Yeah, people often want to know if melatonin is safe for their kidneys. And for the most part, melatonin is considered safe for kidney health, as long as it's used in the recommended doses. But like always, if you have any kidney conditions or are being treated for a kidney issue, it's super important to talk to your doctor before using melatonin, or really any other supplement for that matter.
Better to be safe than sorry, especially when it comes to our vital organs. What about long-term use? Do people ask about that?
All the time. One question is, what happens if I take melatonin every night?
Mm-hmm.
And while taking melatonin every night is generally safe in the short term, using it for a long time might actually make it less effective over time. If you find yourself needing melatonin every single night, it might be worth figuring out why you're having trouble sleeping. And focus on building those healthy sleep habits, for the long haul.
So it's a great tool for every now and then or for those specific situations. But for ongoing sleep issues, it's about addressing those underlying causes and creating solutions that actually last.
Exactly. Melatonin can be a helpful part of the process, but it shouldn't be seen as a permanent fix.
Makes sense. And finally, the classic question, dosage. I imagine people are curious about how much melatonin to take for a good night's sleep.
Oh, definitely. And the standard recommendation for most people is to start low, somewhere between 0.5 milligrams and 3 milligrams, taken about 30 minutes before bedtime. It's really important to not take higher doses, unless your doctor tells you to. Too much can lead to some unwanted side effects, like feeling groggy or even messing up your sleep-wake cycle. Remember, it's all about finding that sweet spot, where you get the benefits without going overboard.
So listen to your body, start low, and adjust if you need to. Solid advice. Well, this has been a super informative deep dive into melatonin. It seems like this natural hormone could really be a game changer for so many people who are struggling to get a good night's sleep.
Absolutely. When used responsibly and as part of a holistic approach to sleep, melatonin can be a really powerful tool for improving sleep quality and just overall well-being.
I couldn't agree more. For our listeners who are ready to explore melatonin further and see if it might be a good fit for them, I highly recommend checking out Cenario's website, Cenario.com. They have a great selection of melatonin-based supplements and tons of resources to help you make good choices about your sleep health.
And don't forget to take their personalized quiz. It's a great way to find the Cenario product that's perfect for your needs.
Exactly. So head over to Cenario.com and start your journey towards better sleep today. Until next time, sweet dreams, everyone.
Thanks for tuning in to the Cenario Podcast. Don't forget to visit Cenario.com for more expert tips, articles, and supplements designed to support your mental health. If you enjoyed this episode, remember to subscribe and share it with a friend. Until next time, take care of yourself.